Okay, hi guys, welcome back. It's been a minute and I'm super excited to be back on your screen. So let's get started. Hearing from God was where we stopped last time, and I talked to you about the fact that God's sheep hears his voice. That one of the ways that we know that hearing God's voice is not a thing of guesswork or um, maybe could have been, should have been, that it's something that we all have the capacity to experience, is the fact that his sheep hears his voice. And if we're going to admit the fact that we are his sheep, then we have to know that um, we can hear his voice. We can hear his voice, that God is a speaking God. God speaks to us, and that the more we align ourselves to him, the more we align ourselves to his leading, to his speaking, that we can hear his voice and we should allow him to speak. So, I want to talk to you about some ways that we hear God's voice. Now, some of these things that I'm going to share with you, they are things that you may already know, while some of it may be new to you. But wherever you are in your journey, I want you to open your heart up to just really hearing um, God's voice, especially knowing that it's God that is speaking to you. The first thing that I would speak to you is about mentors and the power of mentors. You see, Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 5 says, I will give you pastors after my own heart that will lead you with knowledge and understanding. It means that when God gives somebody the role of pastoring you, the office of pastoring you, the privilege of stewarding your destiny, it means that you have to place premium on their words to you, because you have to see their words to you not just as a thing of temporal excitement, or just feeling in the moment, gassing out and all of that. No, you have to see their words as words that have the ability to change the trajectory of your entire existence. So when I hear the words of my pastor, whether it is when he's speaking to me one on one, whether it is when he is teaching in a place, a meeting, or I'm listening to his recording tapes, or I'm reading a book written by himself or his wife, I see it as instruction. I don't take his words as suggestions. You see, when we put premium on the words of our anointed, it gives us the access and the levity and the privilege to begin to see results that is accrued to followership. It gives us access into inheritance. But what even makes this so important for me, that I believe that it's a game changer for you, is that you make less mistakes when there's somebody watching over you. You make less mistakes. People make stupid decisions when they are left to themselves. I've learned this over time. I've seen it play out in people's lives, and I have seen people make stupid decisions, not because they want to, but because they did not know better. There was nobody watching over them, there was nobody guiding them, either because they did not permit or they didn't know they needed people. And so, many decisions in my life have been submitted to my mentors to give confirmation and direction. Right? Your mentor is not going to hear God for you. Are there times where they will see something that you've not seen? Maybe, yes. I heard a lot that, oh, what your mentor says should be a confirmation of what God has said to you. Many times, God is trying to get our attention, and there are blockades all around us, whether it's our environment, our perception, our interpretation, or even the conditioning of our minds. And so, God breaks at us through our mentors and gets that word in our spirit. and then he now allows that word to begin to grow out, to begin to find expression. One of the reasons why I am really emphasizing this point is that if you've had privilege of listening to the matching order video that I gave my community access to, which I really believe that you should listen to day 1 to day 3, you would see where I talked about the fact that one of the highlights of this year is that it is the year of inheritances. You cannot have inheritance when you are not submitted to authority. Submission to authority will shift you. It would literally give you an advantage where you ordinarily would have a disadvantage. Submission to authority would give you opportunity where you would have ordinarily been limited by the biases of your environment or your background. And so I have literally seen following God's man for me change my life. I have seen being submitted to authority and how much advantage it has given me over my peers. I have seen what dogged followership, committed followership has done to my life, the advantages that I have gotten from following. And that's number one. Number two is the place of confirmations environmentally. Has this ever happened to you before? Where you prayed about something and you believe that this is the answer that God is giving you, and you go on social media, a minister that you follow posts and talks about it. You go here, somebody else has posted and is talking about it. You go there. It's like you go to church on Sunday, pastor preaches about it. It's as though God is ringing an alarm everywhere he can get your attention to try to say to you, okay, I'm the one that is calling you out on this. I'm the one that is literally guiding you in this. I'm the one that is ordering your step in this. You've got to trust me. You've got to follow me in the process. You've got to just yield and surrender yourself in the process. Many times, one of the mistakes that we make is that we can sometimes just silence these confirmations and feel like, oh, it's my mind, oh, it's just random events. This is where we'll now begin to pray and ask the Lord, oh, is this you? Is this you? Is this, can you? And then pay attention to the knowings of your spirit that allows you to know that, oh, this is God or this is not God. And you know how God speaks to you. Many times we claim that we don't know, but the truth is that's a lie. We all know how God speaks with us. We all know how God deals with us. We all know how God relates with us. It is an insult on divinity to pretend as though it's your first time hearing from him when you know that you have a track record of relationship with him. Now, many times our senses can get overwhelmed. Our minds, our everything around us can really just overwhelm us and try to get us to the place where we lose sight of what God is saying and what God is doing, where we're no longer paying attention to the seeming speakings of God, and we're now restricting our lives to the environmental conditions of where we have currently found ourselves. I want you to step out of that place where you are allowing your environment to determine your future, to determine the narrative of your existence. And I want you to begin to pay attention. You see, there's this song we used to sing as children. God has something to say. Listen, pay close attention, for God has something to say. It means that many times, if we do not pay attention, we will miss out on what God is saying. Sometimes we miss out on God not because he's not speaking, not because he did not show up, but because we're not paying attention. We are lumping everything together into an experience that is probably not it's not relevant to your future, you know. Many times we try to, so we have to begin to pay attention to these divine confirmations that God is giving us through people, through social media, through stories. He's giving us through multiple sources. You get the same message through multiple sources. He's showing you the same scripture. You know, there were times in my life where I would wake up and I would see stuff like 11:11, 27:27. I would see those scriptures and I'm like, what does it mean? And maybe one day I'm reading through the scripture and I hear something and I check, and it is John 27:27. Now this is an example, or Numbers 11:11, and it is God just saying, oh, confirming something that God has said to me. Other times it would just be that, oh, there's a kairos that hit at that time. Interpretation should not be subjective to your mental biases. We do not know spiritual things through our physical lenses. There's something that Bishop used to say that my husband echoed last week. He said, you must be spiritual. Don't live life physically. Choose to be spiritual. It means don't just brush off things. Don't just brush off experiences and say, oh, this just happened. It did not just happen. Something prompted it. Something invoked that bias, invoked that experience. And so you now need to sit down and ask yourself, okay, what have I permitted? What have I given room? What have I allowed? What have I given permission to that should not be, that ought not to be? What are the things that I have given privileges that shouldn't have access to me? Do you understand what I'm saying? So on today's assignment that I want you to think about and I want you to do is I want you to go back to the Lord and begin to say, Lord, I'm open to hear from you. Many times we stick to the traditional route. Oh, he speaks to my heart, he speaks through scriptures, he speaks through dreams. Those are great, but one of the things that I want this secret place challenge to do for you is to break you out of the box of religion, right? To break you out of the box of your tendencies and your limited experiences, and to allow God to take you on a faith adventure, on a journey to discover this is God speaking to me. That you would literally see somebody holding a water bottle and it would be a confirmation of something that you believe that God is saying to you, or how God is relating to you. You know that you're not limited at all by anything that is around you. Remove God from the boxes of your religious tendencies and just see him for how he is. I'll be back again tomorrow with another powerful episode on the ways that we hear from the Lord. Remember to leave me a comment to let me know how this particular episode has blessed you. If you have not pre-ordered my new book on Fired Up and Unplugged, what are you waiting for? You've got to pre-order those books. They will bless you. They are easy reads and they will change your life. And you still have the opportunity to join my inner circle and learn and grow. All right, God bless you. Bye for now.